Hey guys, it's Andrew, and today I want to talk to you guys about my flying experience and my flyaway that occurred about a month ago, and a couple things that you should know before you purchase your drone. So I purchased my drone about 2 to 3 months ago, and I was really excited to get it up in the air and take some photos and videos and add those to my projects, just to have another perspective, another angle of what was going on, and I was really excited to start flying. So I've had quite a few good drone flights. I've had a couple minor problems with GPS errors and strong magnetic interference, but nothing too bad. Now before I get too far, I just wanted to say that I'm not like a very experienced flyer. I've gone on about 40 flights, 4 to 5 hours, and I've been learning as I go, and I'm not a perfect flyer. So I've had two big issues with my drone. The first one, it did come home, but it was still pretty scary. I sent my drone up at a park and it was kind of drifting off, so I clicked return to home because I didn't want to fly it while it was drifting. And it started fighting with itself and couldn't find the home point and just started circling laps like 40 miles an hour, went complete like 3 blocks away, just circled around, made sharp maneuvers, just going crazy in the air. And it was up there for about 8 minutes. I was ready to start packing my case and start crying because I didn't think my drone was coming home. But somehow it made it home and I still had a drone. So I did a lot of research about that because I did not want that to happen again. So I just researched about return to home flyaways, and I found quite a bit of information about toggling the mode switches so you get out of GPS mode and then you can control it manually. So I was ready to do that on my next flight if it ever happened again. So then I had some great flights in between. Everything went well. And then 3 weeks to a month ago, I went on this flight at our state park here in Iowa called Ledges. Now there's lots of trees and hiking trails and everything, so I was going to get some great shots. Now at the time, I didn't even know there's water until I sent the drone up. So that was pretty cool. I didn't fly over the water, but I flew in the opposite direction over to the trees, flew around the trails and everything, and then I lost connection and it came home. Now it actually came home and it was sitting right above the home point, about 140 feet up, when it started landing. Now, at this point, if you've ever flown, you know how slow it lands by itself. So I put my controller down and I was talking to a friend when it whooshed off to the side and took off at full speed, about 40 miles an hour for the Phantom 3, and I lost track of it, lost eyesight, couldn't see it anymore. It went a long ways, and I looked down at my iPad screen and it said disconnected. So at this point I was pretty scared, had no idea where it was going. I was just praying that it was going to come home. And I started just chasing through a field of grass that was like up to my waist, all the way down by the water, which is the direction it was heading. Now I get out to the end. It was about a 5-minute run, just kind of dodging trees and everything. And I get out there, and this is a really wide river. There's nothing you can do. So I loaded the flight map, and its last point was right above the water. Now, I've read in forums before that it has a tendency during return to home failures to go to water. I have no idea why. I don't know if it's because it can't tell the shallowness or like how far it is from the ground. But it really didn't make sense because I was probably half a mile away from the water where I was flying, and it went to the water. Okay, so here's my flight path, my flight log, I guess. There's my home point at that green point. I took off from that parking lot and went to fly over the trees and the hiking trails. There I lost connection, and it starts to come home. Now watch up in the top right my altitude. It starts dropping here, and then it just takes off by itself and starts soaring over to the water. Now there, it just stopped, probably recognizing that there is a problem, and it kind of jitters back and forth, maybe trying to find the home point, which is really far away, but I'm not sure what it was doing. Now in this clip, this is the video recorded straight from the controller to my iPad, so it's pretty bad quality, bear with it. Here you can see it's heading over to the trees right now. This is when I'm in control. This is obviously sped up. There's some trails in there. Lost connection. There you can see the water. And now, anytime, now it is returning home by itself. I have my hands off the controller and it starts landing here. And lowering, and then it just decides to fly off. Heads out to the water. And right here, the video just stops and there's nothing else. So while I was looking for it, just kind of looking out in the water in disbelief of my drone actually being gone, I called tech support. They answered the phone within 2 minutes, and I was very, very pleased with how helpful they were. I took a couple pictures while I was kind of looking for it on the phone with them of just the river and what I could see, and no drone was present. So they set up a case file for me, and when I got home I already had an email from them asking what happened and to send flight records, so I sent them flight records and told them what happened. Within the next day I had a reply basically pointing out everything that I could have done wrong, even though it had a GPS failure and flew off by itself. Now, some of the things they listed were setting the controller down while it was landing. And I mean, I understand that that's like, if it was going to fly off, you'd probably want to have it close. But the thing is it was landing when it flew off, and I was already disconnected before it was even far away. So there was, even if I had the controller in my hand, nothing I could have done. Now, in forums, it's pretty rare that they will actually replace a drone during a flyaway, no matter what age. However, they did give me an option for a drone and battery with no controller or charger, since I already have those things. And they were basically giving them at the price of the drone with a 15% discount, and the Amazon price was still $100 less with the controller and charger. So I probably won't be purchasing another drone anytime soon unless they decide they want to send me a new one. I told them that I wasn't comfortable with spending more money in the event that it should fly away again. I'm still waiting for a reply to them. The replies have been getting slower and slower. I don't know if they're kind of figuring out that they got a hard bargainer to work with. And I'm still not giving up on getting a drone. I don't want to pay for another one, but I'm still working with them, hopefully to get them to replace it since it was a malfunction. And I've had some great drone flights, and I'd love to have some more great drone flights coming ahead. Before you buy the drone, I think you should watch pretty much every YouTube video out there about their failures and things that have happened with them. Learn from other people's mistakes, and some things aren't mistakes. The drone just doesn't cooperate, and I don't think that's ever going to be fixed. It's like a car. There's good cars out there, but there's never going to be a perfect one for you, and I think drones are always going to have errors. I mean, if you just think about everything that could go wrong with a drone going up in the sky and then using GPS mapping to navigate itself, there's a lot that could go wrong, and I don't think that's ever going to be changed. Anyways, those are my 2 cents on drone flying and my flyaway experience. I hope that your experience goes better than my last flight. I would love to have more drone videos on the way. I don't know. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching.